Getting ready to do another scrapyard run. This is the last of the scrap from that vintage computers and electronics slot that I bought. Excuse me. It's like almost 6:30 in the morning right now, Thursday morning. It's 19 degrees outside. I have more steel than I'm going to take in. I know I mentioned in other videos that I hate dealing with steel just because of the situation locally where I am. But it's enough to where I think I'm going to go ahead and turn it in since I'm going to be down there anyway. And here's all my non-ferrous stuff in buckets here ready to go. I also have some aluminum beverage cans that I'm going to be taking in. So thought I'd do a little documentation of that today. I got a bunch of batteries that were in those like homemade sort of like, I think they were like prototype UPS systems for that company, Sola or whatever. And there were a lot of these lead acid batteries on like these metal sleds, and I cannot get them off of the sleds, so I think they're glued on there. And I don't know if they'll take them like that or not. I hope they do, so it's quite a bit of weight there. Sun's coming up. It's about 10 to 7 right now. The Ferris scrapyard opens up at 6:30, so they're open and running right now. By the time we get there and get unloaded and get paid and hopefully get ourselves a cup of that complimentary coffee, should be about 7:30, which is when the non-ferrous facility opens up down the street. So hopefully we time this right and get everything unloaded, get paid, and be back home by about 8 o'clock, about an hour or so. The place we're going is about 8 miles from my house, so about a 16-mile round trip in the car. A couple interesting old abandoned buildings here. Don't know what these used to be. We're in a very old industrial area near the shores of the Illinois River and south side of Peoria, Illinois. Another old abandoned brick building, a couple of them. Could have been an old power station down here, or who knows really. Up here there's like a couple of like tow truck places and then like two really big scrap yards. This is all ice. I think I'm driving on ice right now. Yep. Rink right now. This is how all the roads are in my neighborhood right now too. The city did a really terrible job like plowing the side streets. They just did like they plowed it once and then we got more snow and rain, so it's just like all these grooves. All these iced over roads with like these deep grooves from the tire marks from the snow before they got rained on, turned into ice. It's pretty bad. Going in the wrong one here. Okay. Train tracks come right up to this yard, and they put their the shred right in these huge bins, put them right on the train cars, which go wherever, presumably ending up in China at some point. That's the shredder there. Check out all those engines. You gotta love the smell of tin shred early in the morning. I don't know if it smells like victory. pounds. All right, I got $7 for scrap steel. It was 100 pounds. So it was actually $6.50. They round up here, so I ended up with $7. Thought it'd be more than 100 pounds. If I knew it was going to be just 100, I probably would have just left it out on the curb for another scrapper. But like I said, I think twice already, it was going to be in the neighborhood anyway, and I had to get rid of that steel somehow, so I might as well get some money for it. Plus I got my complimentary coffee here. It's 15 more minutes until the other yard opens up for the non-ferrous stuff, so I'm just going to sit here for a minute and drink my coffee and let my toes warm up. It's getting a little warmer. It's 14 degrees out. I haven't checked the weather, but the lady at the scrapyard said that it's going to get colder tonight and tomorrow, so I know we got that polar vortex thing coming in, so that should be a good time. You catch? Good boy. You want another one? You catch? Oh, real close. How about one more? Right? Good boy. You want to go outside? Come on. So total from the non-ferrous facility was $53, so a total of $60 for the morning. Not bad. Breakdown on that was $3.45 for used beverage cans, aluminum cans, $4.20 in old sheet aluminum, had 14 pounds of that. Had 34 pounds of aluminum breakage for $1.70. Yellow brass solids, 3 pounds for $3.48. That's $1.16 a pound. That seems like maybe it went down a little bit. I'm not sure. Number two, insulated copper wire. Looks like that's gone down. I thought that was at 50 cents. I'll have to look at some of my old receipts. So I had only 8 pounds of wire, $3.52. Copper bearing, that was actually my brass breakage, but he said there wasn't enough brass in it to go as breakage. I think they want 70% for brass breakage, so he took it as copper bearing. 55 cents on that. All those car batteries, I was worried about that I couldn't get out of that metal sled. He said that wasn't a problem, but he might have to do a slight weight deduction. I don't think he actually did, though. Had 156 pounds of batteries. That's crazy. For $23.40, so that's 15 cents a pound. Motors are still at 7 cents a pound. And I had those real heavy, chunky motors, 150 pounds of motors. That's definitely the most I've ever brought in for $10.50. And the guy I talked to, the scrapyard guy I've talked to him a bunch of times. He actually does his own scrapping thing on the side too. And he was looking at those big transformers, and he was like, man, you could take those apart. Each one of those had probably like 4 or 5 pounds of copper each. And I was just like, yeah, I know, I just don't really have the time to do that. I'm just more interested in selling stuff on eBay, really. I don't want to sit out there processing scrap the whole time. The whole thing about scrap for me is that, it's basically no labor. You just grab it and, put it in I sort it all, here. I have it all in different containers. And then once I have enough, to make it worth going to the scrapyard, I just go. And it's like, hardly any labor really involved. I mean, I'll do a little bit of cleaning sometimes when it makes sense, or stripping wire, on really thick number 1 wire, sometimes I'll strip it. But in general, just processing scrap isn't something I like to do. It really, the more you do it, the more kind of seems like your hourly rate goes down, really, rather than getting anything extra from it. Kind of in my situation, varies from situation to situation, of course. So $60 cash for the morning to get started. That's not bad. And that makes the total amount of scrap from the vintage electronics lot. That's probably, close to $200 in just scrap. I have $500 into that, plus the gas that I spent going up to Chicago and back twice, which is probably $40-50. So probably got $550 into that lot, and I'm already got 200 of it back, and I haven't even sold anything from it yet. And getting ready to actually list a couple of those computers today. So should be interesting to see what happens with that. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.